Hi, this is a session on subjunctive mood. We believe that this is a concept that has not been covered in an effective way in any of the books, and this is one area where a lot of GMAT takers struggle. So here is an attempt to make it simple. So look at this sentence. You wish it were simple. If you think that it should be was, you are struggling with the subjunctive mood. Don't worry, within 10 minutes you would know why were is the correct usage. To begin with, moods in English language. Subjunctive mood is only one of the three moods. The moods are indicative, imperative, subjunctive. Indicative mood is the most common mood in English language as it expresses facts, opinions, and it is also used to ask questions. The sentence itself is an indicative mood. The second mood is imperative mood, which is used to express commands, such as this one, Jack must eat. And then the interesting one, subjunctive mood, is used to express possibilities. This is of great interest to the GMAT. This is the one we would be exploring in great detail. So subjunctive mood, an informal note to begin with. The subjunctive mood is used to explore conditional or imaginary situations. It can be tricky to use, which partially explains why many speakers and writers forego it in candid conversations, and therefore very often using the indicative tone is commonly accepted for where subjunctive mood is technically correct. However, not so on GMAT. It's quite useful and aesthetically pleasing, subjunctive mood. If you can appreciate why I wish I were a king is the correct usage, you probably relate to the grammatical aesthetics. Subjunctive mood is something that the careful users of English do attempt to preserve. It's something that the careful users of English take great pride in. Application of subjunctive mood. The first and the most common usage of subjunctive mood is to express a wish or hypothesis. The concept: in expressing a wish or hypothesis using subjunctive mood, the plural form of verb is used. Examples: I wish I were a king. This is a correct sentence. Please mark the usage of were rather than was here. This is the correct usage. Although the subject it's referring to is singular, it's still plural here. This is so because the information is subjunctive in nature. It is a wish being talked about. Remember, a wish or hypothesis? Were is the correct subjunctive verb here. Look at one more example. The space scientists postulate that the magic particle exists. See, it is hypothesis here, and therefore exists, the singular verb, is not the correct usage. You need to have the plural verb here, and therefore it has to be exist and not exists. The second usage of subjunctive mood is in expressing a situation contrary to the fact. Let's take a deeper look. The concept is that in expressing a situation contrary to the fact using subjunctive mood, the plural form of verb is used. So if I was the prime minister, politics would be cleaner. See, this is not true. This is something which is suggesting something which is contrary to the fact. It means that I am not the prime minister, and probably in my opinion politics is not clean enough. Okay, and therefore the correct usage here is were, the plural form of verb. This would be the correct usage. Please mark the use of were rather than was for I, although generally you would say that I was going to the school. I was is the correct usage, but the nature of information here is subjunctive, and therefore the correct verb here is were. Alright. Important. Be aware of the if would construction. Very important. This is indicative of this nature of information, information that is contrary to the fact. So if would construction, an example, if something would something else. Remember, on a side note, the usage of a then here is not correct. This is not correct. Then here is always silent. You always say if something, comma, something else. If cause, comma, effect. Back to the subjunctive ways. If I was a sportsman, I would be fit. See, this is an if would construction leading to a subjunctive meaning, and therefore the correct usage here is not was, it should be were. So if I were a sports person, I would be fit. That's the correct usage. The third case is when a command, demand, suggestion, or necessity is to be expressed, we use the subjunctive mood. A deeper look at this. The underlying concept is in application of subjunctive mood to express command, demand, suggestion, and necessity, the most basic form of verb is used. Remember the most basic form of verb. You can call it the base verb, the raw verb, the basic form of verb, the root verb, whichever way you can remember it. Let's take an example. The teacher asked Jack that he recites the poem. So see, asked someone that. This is referring to the subjunctive nature of information. If this is a command, command plus that, and therefore the verb that comes has to be the basic form of verb. Recites is not the basic form. The basic form would be recite, and that would be the correct usage. This sentence is not correct, and the correct usage would be recite the poem. If you just read this much, he recite the poem, of course it is not pleasing to the ear, but yes, looking at the complete sentence, someone asked someone that he recite something. So that is the correct usage. This is the correct sentence because of the subjunctive nature of information. The basic form of verb, the base form of verb has to be used. More examples? Look at this. Pause the video, do it yourself. So someone demanded that someone resign. So you may think that the managing director is singular, so resigns is the right verb. Yes, but the nature of information here is subjunctive, and therefore the basic form of verb must come. Resign is all right. One more sentence. Please pause the video, do it yourself. The teacher recommends that. So see, this is a suggestion. Recommending is like a suggestion. Recommends that each student revise notes. You may think that each student revises notes is the right usage, but no, because the nature of information is subjunctive, raise is the correct usage. This is a suggestive nature of information. One more, pause the video, do it yourself. It's essential that the judge hear the testimony. This talks about a necessity, and therefore judge here, the basic form of verb is needed. Otherwise, you would have said that judge hears something, okay? But here is the correct usage. And because of the necessity being suggested here. Another concept here is the very important that be construction on the GMAT. Very, very important. The judge ordered that the accused be taken into custody immediately. Very, very important on the GMAT. This sentence is perfectly all right. Let's get into a basic structure very often tested on the GMAT. This is perfectly all right. The structure is this: subject plus bossy verb plus that plus something be done. Very, very important on the GMAT. The judge, the subject is judge, bossy verb is ordered, that here, something be done, the accused, be taken away. So see something be done, the accused be taken away. A very, very commonly used structure on the GMAT. The sentence is perfectly all right. Although wordy, the sentence is perfectly all right. The same message could have been conveyed using the subjunctive the other way. The judge ordered that the cop take the accused away. Remember, although cop is singular, we still use the plural, rather not plural, the basic form of the verb. We don't say takes, we say the cop take the accused away. This sentence is also perfectly all right. Both are okay sentences. Identifying the subjunctive triggers. So now I'm going to tell you how do you identify where the subjunctive mood is at play. First one, the if would construction as I suggested earlier. Example, if I were the prime minister, the same example, the politics would be cleaner. So you say an if would thing here, and therefore you know that subjunctive is being tested. Other one, bossy verb plus be construction. Example, the judge ordered bossy verb, and then you have a be here, and therefore you know that there is subjunctive mood involved here. And then of course the bossy verb plus that construction. This is also very, very common. Command, demand, recommend, suggest, order, require, need, all of these plus that. So bossy verb plus that construction, the basic form of verb would be needed. This is another indication that the subjunctive mood is at work. Very important. Example, the same example, the teacher asked Jack that he recite the poem. So bossy verb asked plus that suggests that the subjunctive mood is being tested here. The wishful verbs. Wish, hope, hypothesis, assumption. So yeah, whenever you see such words, wish, hope, hypothesize, assume, etc., you know that subjunctive mood is being tested. Example again, I wish I were a king. So you have the plural verb here. So these are some of the triggers. Watch this slide carefully, very, very important. Now let's take an exercise based on whatever we just learned. Pause the video, please do these yourself. So you see recommended, it's a suggestion plus that or bossy verb plus that. So the right term here would be reduce. Please pause the video, do it yourself. So here you see the bossy verb that and by everyone suggests the slight passive construction, and therefore we require that something be done by someone kind of a construction. So the right usage here would be the law mandates that helmets be worn by everyone while driving a motorcycle. So helmets be worn would be the right usage here. Pause the video, do it yourself. I have deliberately put this trap here because if you have just by default started using the basic form of verb everywhere, that is not correct most of the times. You have to see whether there is subjunctive nature of information. This is not subjunctive. Someone is simply telling someone something else. Like is not the right usage. Jack told Lily that he likes something. So likes would be the right usage. I hope you got this one right. Pause the video, do this one yourself. There are two blanks. If I see this is a wish, so we say were here. If I were rich, so if would construction, I would buy you something. Pause the video, do it yourself. So while otherwise guard monitors would have been okay, because the nature of information is subjunctive, suggesting a necessity plus that, so the subjunctive verb, the basic form of verb is needed. It is necessary that the guard monitor, not monitors. Monitor is the correct verb here. Look at this one. The Prime Minister insisted that something be done would be the right usage. The promises made to the public be honored. That would be the correct usage. Look at this. Once again, someone or the law requires that something be done. So be presented would be the correct usage here. The accused be presented in the court within 48 hours of arrest. Explanations. So you can look at these one by one. Another opportunity to revise these 7 questions. This one was not subjunctive. Sorry for the wrong animation. So these 7 questions. And now that we have understood the concept really well, let us solve a real GMAT question taken from the official guide. Please pause the video and attempt it yourself. So as usual, go by elimination. Demand and should are coming together. That is redundant. Option A can be eliminated. Demanding, the sentence is in past tense. The company yielded. Demanding would not be the correct verb here, would not be the best verb on the first place. This also can be eliminated. Consumers and their demand too changes the meaning. It's not that the company yielded to the demand and the consumers separately. It's the same thing. So this usage of and changes the meaning. This can also be eliminated. It's quite between D and E. Some students would take B also. Here demanding is a bit of a deal breaker. But then once you understand that the nature of information here is subjunctive, there's a subject, then there's a bossy verb followed by that, and it is of course referring to the company. It bring back, so the basic form of verb comes here and bring back the original Coke formula. So it's between these two. Between these two, D is a better choice. To demand someone to do something is a bit unidiomatic, but even if you don't know that idiomatic usage and you know subjunctive mood, you would know that this is a better way of conveying the intended meaning. The subject plus the bossy verb plus that and then the action with the basic form of verb used here. So D is the best choice here. Let's take one more. This is the correct choice. Let's take one more example. Please pause the video and attempt it yourself. The sentence quite conveys the sentiments of English lovers about subjunctive mood. As with all grammar and usage matters, the rules for subjunctive mood are based on centuries of convention. There is no deeper reason and it is just what it is. And you see the semicolons here, so practically from the GMAT perspective, you can start very much reading the sentence from here. This much has to be sufficient. So, but the subjunctive mood is aesthetically pleasing, and if it is to go away, so you see an if would usage here, the subjunctive is at work and therefore is would not be the correct usage. If it were to go away would be the correct usage. So option A can be eliminated. If it had to go away, it would not be the correct usage either. If it has to go away, changes the meaning slightly. If it goes away, and once again, it's between these two choices, given the subjunctive nature of information, and if it were to go away, if subjunctive were to go away, it would be a loss. Option D conveys the message appropriately, and D is the best choice. And yes, on the departing note, I would say that yes, if the subjunctive mood were to go away, it would be a serious loss to the English language. D is the best choice. On that note, I would thank you for watching this video. I hope this was helpful. Good luck with your GMAT preparation.